Well, hello, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Jiujitsu2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Today I have an interesting video for you. Today I want to talk about the Olight Marauder 2. Adapt and conquer, throw or flood, and you can also use this as a portable battery bank to power your devices. Now this has a maximum output of 14,000 lumens. That is crazy. And then on the spot or the throw portion of the light, you can get a throw of 800 meters. So this is the original X7 Marauder. This is a great light, but I think this one was only 9,000 lumens. This is not the R version. This is just the X7, the original. And this thing is fantastic. So let's take a look at this new Marauder. I'm very excited to see what is coming in this package. But before I open it up, let's get a quick look at the box and how it comes packaged. 5-year warranty promise, and then let's look right here on the back. Feel free to pause your screen if you want to read this information. Talks a little bit about the light, talks about the features of the light. This box is kind of heavy. And then down below, this chart right here, this is the one that gives you all the specifications of the light, run times, distance of throw, all that good stuff. And then of course right there it tells you what's in the package and things like that. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm very excited to see what comes with this light. So as always, we see their thing here. Thank you for joining the Olight family. But they changed the thing here. Do it all with your new Marauder 2. Because they used to say something like, you know, your support is why we do this, or something like that. So right here it talks about taking the insulation film off of the lens of the light. It talks about rotating the knob quickly over 90 degrees to unlock the light. And then it talks briefly about how to access the charging port. And then what the battery charging indicators look like. So you'll get a solid red when you're charging, solid green when charging is complete. Which I've already charged this light. I've already taken it out and played with it. It's a pretty cool light. So let's pull this bad boy out. Wow, that is a beautiful light. That thing is heavy. And it looks like it's built really nice. It's got a rubber overmolding here. It says hot surface there. And I love what they did here on these heat dissipators. This is really cool. Very nice design that they did there. And then right here on the lens, you can see that it has this protective coating, protective film, so you got to take that off. And that exposes all the LEDs, and it exposes the bezel ring as well as the lens inside. Very, very cool. Very nice. And I'm feeling, I think that is a plastic type material, and it has like a little bulge on it right on the center. Very cool. This is a very nice light. It feels good in the hand. It feels very similar to the previous version, but it's a little heavier. Again, it says 14,000 lumens or 800 meters of throw. So you have a series of buttons and switches. You have another little clear thing right here I'm going to try to take off. Right there, that little film. So you got to take that off. And then right here on the bottom, this is where you turn this and it will open like the lens of a camera to your USB-C charging port. And it says here the battery capacity is 5,000 milliamp hour, 10.8 volts. And then it gives you the input and the output currents that this light operates on. Now this previous model that I have, this one runs on 4 18650 batteries. So this one has a rechargeable battery built inside the light. So very, very cool. I like that a lot. It's got a good feel to it. And as you can see, it comes packaged very well. Everything's protected very well. And you have a box here. You probably pull that box out. There's nothing left in the package, so I'm going to put that out of the way. First thing that you see here is the owner's manual, and we're going to move forward. We're going to look here. There is a lanyard for this light, and that feels like it might be like a paracord type lanyard. Pretty cool. Nice touch. You can see here there is a Olight USB-C charging cable. So it's got USB-C on both sides. This is cool. Very cool. You can use that to charge your light, and you can also use that maybe if you wanted to draw power off of this thing to charge, let's say for example, a GoPro or something like that. So right here, this is, you plug this in, this is your charging block. It says 30 watts. So you plug this into the wall outlet, plug your cable into this, and then into the light, and you can charge this flashlight. Very, very cool. I like the way everything's packaged. It's really clean packaging. There's nothing left in the box. Okay, so that's what we have here. Okay, let's take a closer look at the owner's manual. So there you can see right there, it talks about the light. And then right here, it talks about the indicator, and I'll talk about that stuff here in a minute. Feel free to pause the screen anywhere during this section. And if you don't pause, I'm just going to keep moving on. I just want to show you the owner's manual so you can see everything that it shows. Right here is some good information. Specifications of the light. Right here is a notice. This talks about the proximity sensor. And then up here, you can see there is more specifications in reference to the spotlight. That other chart that we saw over here, that's when it's in flood, what you'll get. And this is when it's in spot. So right here is some of the dimensions, the weight, the candela. Right here talks a little bit about the light. And then of course, going here, contact right here. How to operate the light. Right here we're looking at a description of the light. So it's basically showing everything so we know how to identify the parts of the light. And then there's a little bit of before first use kind of stuff, information. And then of course, again, we're showing how to operate. Let's go back up here to the top. Talks about taking that insulation film off, that lens protection film, because the lens on this light is not glass, it is plastic. And then how to open the charging port cover, and a little bit on the color of the indicator when you're charging, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. Power bank function, and that's it for the owner's manual. Okay, looking at the light, there's a few things that I'll identify right now, starting off with the lanyard attachment piece. So right here, you just reach in with your fingers and you kind of pull that out, and you'll see that it exposes this thing, and you can put your lanyard in right there. And this is a pretty heavy light, so you can attach it right there. It's a very solid connection point. And if you don't want that sticking out, you can just push it in with your finger, and you can see the little divot on there. It'll hit a ball and it'll keep that thing in. This switch is the switch that lets you change from spot to flood light. Okay, so if you're going to get a throw or you're going to get a flood. Now right here on the right where my thumb is, you can see this side of the switch has 7 different indicators that will illuminate, telling you the status of your battery. And then on the left you have another 7 different indicators that will light up, telling you the brightness level that you're currently on. So you can go anywhere from 1 to 7 on your brightness levels. If you're looking at the indicator here and you get a flashing red indication, it's telling you that your battery is less than 5%. It's time to charge. And then if you open the charging port and you plug in your charging cable, it will turn solid red when charging, and it'll turn solid green when charging is complete. One more thing that you'll see though is in the event that you use this as a battery bank to power something else, maybe charge your cell phone or something like that, you'll notice that this indicator will flash green, telling you that you're using it as a power bank. Okay, right here I've got the original X7 Marauder and the Marauder 2 just side by side for size comparison. Okay, even though I've already charged this light, I want to talk about the charging portion of the light here. So when the light will be sitting like this, you got to turn this counterclockwise to expose the charging port. Once the charging port is exposed, you take your USB-C, plug it in, and then you'll notice the indicator right there will glow red, again telling you that you're charging, and then it will turn green when charging is complete. Again, if you see flashing green here, it's because you're using this as a battery bank. And let's pretend that this turned green, and let's just say for the sake of the video that charging is complete. You'll unplug this and make sure that you don't forget to close this port to protect that charging port. The cover is not waterproof. If water enters this port, then what you need to do is you need to twist this port till it's open like you see here, and then place the flashlight on its tail and let it sit, or it can air dry there, or you can blow dry it out. So you can maybe take some compressed air or something like that just to get that thing, and then make sure you're setting the light upright like that, so again it can air dry. Now level 7 brightness can only be reached if the battery level is at level 4 or higher, so you're not going to get that maximum level 7 14,000 lumen rating unless your battery is above level 4. The brightness will be capped at 200 lumens, which is the level 1 brightness of the floodlight if the battery level is lower than 5%. So all you're going to get is low. Though the flashlight supports up to 30 watt charging, the charging speed and time depend on the output power of the adapter being used. When the floodlight is on and set at level 3 or higher brightness, the built-in proximity sensor underneath the front lens will dim the brightness automatically as it senses an up-close obstruction ahead, and again the brightness will restore when the obstruction is gone. Turn the flashlight off, make sure that the knob switch has been locked out, because if you don't do that and this light accidentally gets turned on, this being a plastic lens, it can melt that lens. And it could actually cause objects to burn, so you want to be careful of that. The built-in proximity sensor is underneath the front lens of the light. It only works when it's on floodlight. It will not work when you're in spotlight. And it only works when you're at level 3 brightness or higher. When the floodlight's on, the sensor will dim the brightness automatically if it senses a close-up obstruction ahead. The brightness will restore when the obstruction is gone. When the floodlight is on, the sensor will dim the brightness automatically if it senses a strong light source right ahead, like sunlight, bright street lamps, car headlights, etc. The brightness will then restore when the light source is not right ahead. The distance sensitivity sensor may vary due to the reflectivity of the obstructive objects. For example, dark, rough objects, the maximum distance for response is about 5 centimeters, and for white, flat objects, the maximum distance for response is about 80 to approximately 100 centimeters. Now, the sensor will not work if it's blocked by water, dirt, or scratches on the front of the lens, so make sure that you don't allow any kind of scratches or obstructions or anything like that to get on here, because you're going to lose your proximity sensor functionality. So when you're finished using the light, the knob switch will be locked out automatically. It'll go into lockout mode on its own if no operation is made within 30 seconds after the flashlight's turned off. And again, to unlock it, you're going to rotate this thing 90 degrees, and then you can press the button and see the light come on. So it's very simple. Very easy it locks itself out automatically, which I really like. Okay, I've got this light pointed up because I'm going to show you how to operate it. It's very simple. You basically push this button and the light will come on, but in my case it's not going to do that because it's locked out. To unlock the light, we just got to turn this dial 90 degrees and then the light will be ready to be turned on. So you single press and the light will turn on. On the right here you can see the battery power level. So I've got 7 bars, which is telling me that my battery is fully charged. So the light's on. And then on the left here, you can see, I have to turn it off and back on to see that. You can see that I have one indicator telling me that I'm on my lowest setting. Now if I rotate the dial clockwise, it's going to get brighter. See that? We're up to 2, 3, and it looks like the proximity is kicking us out because I've got lights overhead. So that's as far as I'm going to get to go here, unless I try to turn my angle or something. Let's see. So we're turning the dial. Yeah, it's just not going to work. It's got to be in a darker type environment to get this thing to go. So there we go. We've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 right there. So you've got 7 levels of brightness. This thing is very bright. You can see it's going to dim on its own with that proximity sensor. So it's a very cool light the way it works. And then again, to get it down, you're just going to go counterclockwise. And the light does have a memory, so in our case you can see we're on the lowest setting. You push the button, it turns it off, push it and it turns it back on. And then if you want to access turbo very quickly, you just double press, okay, and you'll get all 7 indicators. And then if you want to access the strobe, you'll triple press 1, 2, 3. And you'll get that nice strobe. Single press turns it off, single press turns it back to the highest setting previous to the turbo. So now I can dial back down. And if you want to switch from flood to spot, you just push this forward and you'll see I have this spotlight now. So that's where I'm going to get my distance of throw. Now when I'm using this type of light, the sensor, the proximity sensor, does not work. So I'm just going to turn that dial, get all the way to 7, all the way down to 1, and again all the way back up to 7. You can double press to go to turbo. So this is the switch that switches from a spotlight to a floodlight. Like if you see it forward, I'm going to get the very tight pattern. It's going to give me a lot of throw. If I push the switch down to this setting, it's going to give me a very wide pattern or a flood style of pattern. So I can push the button because I'm in throw, the light will turn on. You see that right down there? And then I can turn the dial and go anywhere from 1 all the way up to 7 without worrying about the proximity sensor coming on. So there it is. You've got the brightness level on the left and the power level indicators on the right, and that thing is bright. Again, this has 800 meters of throw. If I go back to the floody type settings like this, the light changes, and again that's when the proximity sensor will start to work. So you'll try to go to the brightest setting, and then if something gets too close, the light will dim, and then you have to get away from that. Hopefully I'm still backing up. I'm quite a ways away from the camera. There it came back, and that's the full brightness of 14,000 lumens. Okay, at this point I want to talk about using this charging port as a battery bank. So we're going to take our light, open the port there, we'll take our USB-C, we'll plug the USB-C into the light, and then on the other end, this is it right here. Let's just, for the video here, let's use a GoPro. So we'll open the door here on this GoPro 9. And then we'll plug in our port here onto the GoPro. You'll see the indicator started to flash on the light, and you see the red indicator here telling us that we are charging our GoPro. So that's very cool. We're now using our flashlight to charge our camera. Very, very cool function. And then again, when you're finished, you can unplug, let's say the GoPro for example. You'll watch this indicator, it stops flashing, and then again to finish up, you'll disconnect here from the back, and then make sure that you're closing that port when you're done. Okay, one more thing worth noting when you're going to be using this light as a battery bank, you don't want to charge more than one thing at a time. So charge just one item, and so don't get like some USB hub that has 4 or 5 ports and try to charge multiple things. You're only going to be able to charge one item at a time. This reverse charging process will stop when the battery level indicator is lower than 5% or the floodlight is on level 7. So I want to talk about the run times real quick. So if you are on the floodlight section, which is what we're at right here, on level 1 you'll get 200 lumens. That'll last for 40 hours and you'll get 55 meters of throw. Then level 2 you get 400 lumens for 22 hours, 75 meters of throw. And then on level 3 you're dealing with 800 lumens for 13 hours, 110 meters of throw. And then bumping up to level 4 you get 1600 lumens for 7.5 hours with 155 meters of throw. Then if you go up to level 5, it's 3200 lumens for 4.5 hours, 215 meters of throw. And anything on level 5 or higher, you do have step downs to prevent overheating. And then if we move up to level 6, you get 6400 lumens for 3 hours and 15 minutes or 300 meters of throw. And then lastly, if you're on level 7, you get 14,000 lumens, 3 hours and 10 minutes of runtime with 450 meters of throw. Now if we change the light and we go to the spotlight settings, we'll go back to level 1, which is 50 lumens for 59 hours. You'll get 200 meters of throw. And then if you go to level 2, you get 100 lumens for 31 hours of runtime, 300 meters of throw. You go to level 3, you get 200 lumens for 19 hours with 400 meters of throw. And then again, level 4, this is the last level where it will not step down. So last one, level 4, we get 300 lumens for 11 hours and 40 minutes, and then you'll get 500 meters of throw. That is very, very good. Now level 5 is where the step downs start to happen. You get 500 lumens for 9 hours and 50 minutes, 600 meters of throw. And then of course level 6, you get 650 lumens for 7 hours, 700 meters of throw. And then the last one, again level 7, 850 lumens, 6 hours and 40 minutes, 800 meters of throw. Let's not forget one more time that anything level 5, 6, or 7, whether you're on spot or flood, you will have step downs. This light has a candela rating of 160,000 candela. It's IPX8, waterproof, it's impact resistant down to 1 meter. It weighs 26.5 ounces or 750 grams. It's 5.51 inches long, and the diameter of the light is 3.11 inches. If you want to talk about millimeters, it's 140 millimeters long and 79 millimeters in diameter. So once again, anything above level 5, you will see the step downs here. This is when you're on a floodlight. That explains the step downs. And then when you're on spotlight and you go above level 5, that is the step downs of when you're in spotlight mode. Okay, we are in the shop. I have just unlocked the light. Let's push the button. We are on level 1. We are on level 2. There's level 3. You can see the indicators there. Level 4, level 5, level 6, that is bright, and let's go all the way up to level 7. That is bright. I mean, it lights up this whole room. I'm aiming at the sky here. You can see the proximity dim the light. Came away from the roof, the proximity let it come back up to level 7. Now I'm going to triple press and we're going to get a strobe. 1, 2, 3. That's what the strobe looks like with this light. Single press turns it off, single press turns it back on. We are currently on level 4. Let's go down to level 1. And we're going to switch the light from flood to spot. So there we have it. Off in the distance, you can see even on level 1 we have a tight square pattern. Let's move it up. We are now on level 2. Level 3. It feels like there's 3 clicks between levels here. Now we're on level 4. It's very intense. Level 5. Level 6. And last but not least, level 7. That's the one where we're going to get that 800 meters of throw. That is a very tight hotspot. I kind of wish it was round instead of square, but that's kind of cool though that they were able to do that in a single light. Now you can flip the switch and go right back to flood. Very cool. Or right into spot, whatever level you're on. So if you're down on level 1 and you want to go to flood, it's just a flip of the switch. It's very cool how this light operates. The only thing that you can't do, I believe, is when you're on the spotlight settings right here. I don't think you have a strobe on that one. So let me try that. Let's turn it on. 1, 2, 3. No strobe. Now if you have 1, 2, 3 on this and then you slide the switch, it turns the strobe off and it just goes to a spot. So let's do that again. 1, 2, 3. Watch this. It just turns the strobe off and goes to a spot. So you can't spot a strobe on this light. But this is a fantastic light. I like what it does. Even on the lowest, absolute lowest setting, I mean, you can see that we're clearly lighting up this whole room. That's on level 1. That's pretty crazy. Again, double press, we can go straight to turbo. It's 14,000 lumens. That really lights up this whole room. It's actually an overkill for what we're doing here. Single press. And then again, remember the light has a memory. So if we turn it on and then say we go down to level 1, for example, we're on level 1 there, turn it off, turn it back on, you'll see right back to level 1. Very cool light, very good night shots. I hope you enjoyed those. Fantastic. I'm really digging this Marauder too. It's awesome. Very, very cool light. Let's take a look at the IPX8 waterproof rating on this light. So I'm going to unlock it. We'll turn it on. It's on low. Actually, let's go to flood there. Making sure that the port's closed. Let's drop it in the water. Everything looks good. Bring it out of the water. And let's cycle up in the modes. It's probably not going to do the cycle because of the proximity, but we're going to just crank it up anyway, as far as it'll go. So there's level 6. There's all the way to level 7. Look, I didn't expect that. Let's try to go to strobe here. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Single press. Turns the light off. Single press. Turns it back. And the proximity's messing around. Put it back in the water. Wow. I'm very, very impressed with this light. They really did a good job. Let's go to the spotlight. Look at that. All the way up to level 7. And then let's come back down all the way down to level 1, go back to the flood, and then of course let's open this port. I blew there. Let's open this port and see what it looks like inside. Did any water get inside? Looks like it did, but that's okay. Like we talked earlier, we're just going to set that light just like that and call it a day. We're going to let that thing sit upright. It will air dry. And that's all there is to it. So with all that being said, folks, once again, thank you for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is the most advanced light that I've ever reviewed, but it was a fun review. I want to say thank you very much to Olight for sending this light out for review. I want to ask for you guys to please feel free to leave your comments down below, like this video, share this video, and in the description box down below, I will put my affiliate link. So if you want to support the channel, feel free to click on that link and purchase anything. If it's a flash sale day, you can get the flash sale savings. If it's a non-flash sale day, you can use the coupon code of Jiujitsu2000 at your checkout to get more savings. So until next time, folks, again, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.